Cricket Unfiltered podcast, another week, another show, and some great correspondence. Paul, do you want to take it away with the first one from David?
Here's from David507. Greetings from Barcelona. You guys are definitely one of the top 10 Australian cricket podcasts in Spain. I have one word for Australian opening batting woes, Khawaja. Remember him? Was arguably your best opener. You made him bat at 3 and eventually took him out of consideration for Australia altogether. Could bat circles around Harris or Burns. Also, why does Payne cop so much heat but not Langer?
You'll be happy to know we've rectified that today.
And I think that his reference to us being in the top 10 in Barcelona was because we were claiming to be in the top 1 in Mexico. So we're in the top 10 in Spain. That's fantastic. I hope they're going to...
Wait, there's 9 more cricket podcasts above us in Spain?
I think
that's the
he's
joke.
joking. I think
That's the joke, I think.
Oh.
I'll be fact-checking the rankings. Don't worry,
I was
Jaleesa.
going to say, who are they? We need to hunt them down.
And David, just to let you know about Khawaja, he was actually the spare batter for the South African tour. So if someone had pulled out, he was next in line, just to give you an idea of where the selectors have got him in the pecking order. So he was just one spot out of that SA team. So David, he might not be too far away from getting back into the side. Now we've got
David, sorry, can I just say on Khawaja, your opinion is also shared a lot. I get so many tweets about Khawaja, probably more than any other player.
Yeah,
why
those people haven't watched cricket. Have they watched Australia play?
He wasn't very good in the big rush.
He wasn't very good.
He wasn't very good.
When we really needed him.
He wasn't very good when we needed him. He wasn't very good in the big bash. I like Khawaja, but I can't.
I like him too. He's a fantastic player when he's in form.
Yeah, exactly. When he's in form.
His best and worst, there's too much of a gap between. Now, next, we've got a review here in Australia, Apple Podcasts from Toombs. Do you want to read this one out?
I get to read it. Okay, the title is I'm in Love. Awesome podcast. It's been great listening to Manners and
Always. It's always. Please don't forget that.
Oh, sorry. God.
Always been great.
It would have helped if you'd printed this off in a more than 3-point font, Manners.
I'm reading this with my magnifying glasses. Awesome podcast. It's always controversial. Been great listening to Manners and his often controversial opinions. The addition of Jaleesa apps to the podcast has been a masterstroke. I'm in love. Nick, should we read where they're from? Probably not.
Well, Palm Beach, New South Wales. I mean, he put it out there.
Nick,
it's a public review.
Yeah, it's just Nick.
Obviously, you must have cropped the third line out where he said, and I also like Paul.
Paul's been a great inclusion too. Yeah, didn't get those reviews since you came on board. All right, I've got one now.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. If that's anyone other than my boyfriend, Nick, thank you.
Okay, here we
probably is him.
Here we go. All right, well, thank you, whoever left that review. And now we're going to review an Apple podcast in Great Britain from Haida Chima. And this is counterpoint to the hater. Don't listen to the haters, guys. Love the pod and wanted to let you know it was a bright light in my lockdown tedium. Big fan of the pod from Pakistan. So there's a country for Jaleesa to colour in her map.
Thanks, Haida.
Hater's going to hate, potato's going to potate, tomato's going to tomate.
That's it. That's that Burra logic right there.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So let's so that's all the listener mail. Thank you so much for getting in touch. And we're going to end this podcast with Can't Let It Go, which is that little bit of cricket news you just can't let go through to the keeper. Jaleesa, do you want to go first?
Oh, this is such a stitch up because Manners actually put mine in the the headlines?
Well, talk about it because I'm surprised about your Can't Let It Go because he retired before you were born.
Yeah, but you can still appreciate a good cricketer.
So what do you appreciate about Merv?
I can't help when I was born. That's so mean.
But what do you appreciate about Merv? Obviously, I grew up with Merv. You know, I was one of those guys doing the stretches on the TV.
Having written the 9 News VO on Merv, I actually...
Can you take Woo's job? Continue.
I will not be doing that. And I hope he doesn't take mine.
Don't worry. There's absolutely no chance of that.
I reviewed a lot of Merv footage. Now, so Swerve and Mervyn was inducted to the Cricket Hall of Fame, and as you've written here, Manners 53 tests, 212 wickets, 28 and 1,000 runs, and I just wanted to give appreciation to Swerve and Mervyn, but you already did that.
No, but it's a fantastic initiation. He's one of the great blokes of Australian cricket. And
He also looked very-
I was sort of around the Australian team when he was playing because I had a friend of mine was a manager, and Merv was always so great with the fans. You know, on the Ashes tour in '93, he'd after play he'd go and stop in the pub and say hello to all the touring groups, and you know, a lot of players weren't like that, but he always went that extra mile.
I just realised you said you were looking through the archives. That's my dream. The Channel 9 cricket archive. That must be.
Oh, well, feel free to come in. They take a lot of restoring because obviously it's on tape. So it's quite a.
Oh, I'm going to have to steal
This is too
it, I
much
think.
for Paul.
Can you
The
send me
free-to-air cricket in England, the Channel 9 archives.
All I want to do is look at archives from the 1960s. That's,
There's probably a job there you can do, to be honest.
I know the only problem is I'm absolutely useless. I would end up. You'd say, stitch this up here, and I've ruined everything.
Do you know, but that was like
He's destroyed the whole lot.
He's burnt the building down too.
That was a massive job, actually, moving the archives from our old building to, and obviously I had nothing to do with this, but it's moving the archives from our old building to where we are in North Sydney was someone's whole job to put them digitally.
If I could have been the truck
And
driver, I would have moved in my bedroom.
But it's not. They probably would have accepted that.
Well, Paul,
It's quite a lot.
what is your can't let it go?
Okay, Manners, I'm going to knock you down and then build you up. The other day,
Story of my life.
someone sent out that horrible footage for Australian fans of the England players doing the sprinkler at the SCG after they won the third
Worst
test
day of my life.
in 2010-11.
One of the worst.
And I thought, and they said it's exactly 10 years to the day. And I thought that
Wasn't that at the MCG they did that?
I think they did it. Well, yeah, they did it
They
both.
did both.
Yeah.
Losers.
And I was thinking, that means it's been 10 years since they've won a test match in Australia.
I see, now you're building.
Now I'm building it up. In 2013, 14, 5-0, 17, 18, 4-0. And I just thought, I wonder if that's happened that often, you know, a decade without winning a match. And I've had a look. It's the first time, excluding the wars, that either side has ever gone a decade without winning a match on foreign soil. So if you take out the time from World War I and World War II, this is the first time since 1877 that has ever
how bad they
happened. So it's a decade and it's never happened except for global war.
It's a good stat to finish. If you went through the results and you just crossed England's name out and just left it blank and just said, should this team tour and have 5 tests every 4 years? If you were Cricket Australia and you didn't see the name, you go, no, these teams aren't competitive. They just come out here and get hammered. No, we'll get a good team out that's going to be enjoyable. We'll get India every 2 years.
We can't just always play India.
Yeah, we could just play England in 3 tests at home and then, would save space for the teams that are competitive on Australian soil.
It's a very good point. The West Indies, we got them out here as often as we could. And as recently as 96, 97,
Smashed
they lost
them 5-0.
No, they lost 3-2 then.
Oh, yeah. The next one was 5-0.
0001, we beat them 5-0, and that was it. 3 test match or 2 test matches ever since. You're saying, if England had the same treatment,
That's right.
we wouldn't be inviting them over at all.
Cue England winning the next Ashes 3-1. All right, I've got two little can't let it goes. My first can't let it go is, and it's a moment of self-reflection for me, that I have.
Oh, here we go.
I have
Are you
something.
good at self-reflection
Are
and
you
learning?
looking in the mirror?
Are you perfect?
Well, I'll ask Andrew Wu for his opinion, but
I would love to hear it after this.
I'm sure, dummy. So, like Nathan Lyon and I go to sleep in the same way.
You goat to sleep.
Which is, both off spinners. We both listen to the sound of rain on a tin roof. There's all these Spotify and podcasts where you can just listen to the sound
Where
of
is
rain.
this going?
I'm just saying that Nathan Lyon and I both listen to the same sound to go to sleep. Apparently he listens to the sound of, you can listen to on Spotify and podcasts. And I do too.
Can't you just listen to your head noise like everyone else?
No. You've heard me, so you can imagine how horrific it's inside. And
Can't escape.
and the other bit of can't let it go is, for once, a cricket tournament hasn't grabbed my attention. The T10 in Abu Dhabi, I tried to watch bits of it. It actually doesn't start that late. I think they start about 11 o'clock at night, and good friend Lisa Stalake is commentating, but just hasn't, I don't know, T10 and I guess those teams and the squads, because I don't know a lot of the players, just hasn't grabbed my attention.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Actually, now that you mention it, this is how tragic I am. I think I wouldn't mind watching that. Where's it being broadcast?
On Foxtel at 11 o'clock every night.
Oh, there you go.
It's worth a watch. I mean, there's a few West Indian players there. Gale was there. Mainly the West Indian stars, but Shoaib Malik's playing.
It's just
like
the
50.
short format I don't like. It's too short.
Yeah, and you don't like sitting on the mic, but whatever.
But I hated 2020 when it came out.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to be one of those people that knocks.
Now I love it.
Yeah, I was the same. I was very much against it.
In years to come, it may be the only form of the sport that exists. It's probably the natural form. It's the same length as a football game.
Yeah.
210.
Yeah.
No, that's all the cricket
Stressful.
talk. So I just wanted to, before we go, Paul, we mentioned before that you've been watching the US Office. Now, where are you with the US Office?
Finished.
Wow. Did you like it?
I did. It's the only thing I've ever actually completed in my life, I think, because we started watching it and then halfway through I got so stressed about the cringeworthy comedy, I stopped. But then we've actually gone back and I've watched every single episode. Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
One of your favourite shows, do you think, now?
Yeah.
What about you? Have you seen the US Office, Jaleesa?
No, I have a life.
Oh, you have luck.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, all I watch is sport and weird Louis Theroux documentaries. That's
Okay.
pretty much my whole life.
Well, I'm rewatching 30 Rock now, another NBC comedy.
Are we getting paid to plug this?
No, I'm just saying that
This show is brought to you by Justin Langer and 30 Rock.
I'm now watching 30 Rock,
Is
and
Tina
it's
Fey
very,
gonna
very
pay us?
funny.
It's hilarious.
So yeah, that's my rewatch. I've watched The Office about 6
Is
times.
this a new segment that we have? Like after Can't Let It Go, we talk.
No, I asked you about The Office a lot at the end of the show, and if you're listening this far into the podcast, you
Why
know,
have I never heard
Robert.
this?
I know Robert Fairhead's listening. Hello, it's just you at this stage, but thank you for sticking on. All right, well that's it for Cricket Unfiltered. Paul's finished The Office. I'm starting 30 Rock. Jaleesa's watching documentaries. Jaleesa, nice to
Yeah.
see you. Will we get you next week?
Ugh.
We'll see.
Can I mentally put myself through another one? Yes. I'll be here.
And Paul, go and enjoy the free-to-air coverage in England with all your mates, English mates.
I'm not there. I have to.
Well, you
Enjoy
send him a
quarantine.
message.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, that's it for Cricket Unfiltered. Thanks to Carlos Brathwaite and James Vince, and we'll be back next week.